As I promised, I want to explain the details to take into account when choosing a scissors so that the result in the cut is successful. The first thing we have to think about when choosing a scissors is its ability to resist hair. That is, so to speak, the strength of the scissors. And for this you have to be clear that the wider its blades, the stronger the scissors, the more capacity it has to withstand the resistance of the hair. On the contrary, the finer it is, the less resistance it has to hair. What differentiates them is that when we have to take a resistant or thick hair, a curl of a water dog that we cannot open and that has to go in a denser clump of hair, we will choose a stronger scissors, and on the contrary, a vaporous hair or a hair in which we cut little by little, we will choose a thinner one.
Obviously, the thin one is more heavy and the thin one is lighter.
The fine ones are ideal for cutting jobs in which we are going to be cutting for a long time, and that we are going to cut little hair by little hair. Another factor to take into account in terms of the force in the scissors is to be clear that the scissors are stronger in the area near the screw than at the tip. So the shorter scissors are more resistant, and the longer the scissors are, especially at the tip, they are less resistant to hair, and you have to take this into account. Perhaps it has happened to you at some time that when you have a scissors that is thin and very long, and you take a little more hair, then the scissors here at the tip is able to resist if we notice. The hair bends a little, and that it does not cut. Don't continue with that scissors. Choose a scissors that is shorter or thicker, or continue cutting but taking a less dense strand of hair, little by little, which is what thin and long scissors are designed for. It is important that you internalize this concept in your technique to prevent the scissors from suffering and wearing out, from becoming dull, precipitous. Now, I'm going to explain the features by focusing on the handle. In the handles you see that there are two possibilities. Either the symmetrical ones in which the holes are parallel, and when it comes to holding it, it is very comfortable because it is held in the hand very comfortably. When opening and closing, we have to tighten the thumb more. Or the asymmetrical ones in which the thumb is a little more advanced, and that allows the opening and closing in a more relaxed way. But the scissors are a little looser in the hand, less held. It is important that in curved scissors, which have the curvature to one side, obviously, most scissors are designed with a symmetrical handle to be able to work to one side. If the curvature is needed in one direction, or change direction to work in another direction. And another detail to take into account is the length of the handle, whether it is longer or shorter. If the handle is long, the scissors open and close in relation to the length of the shovel, but above all in relation to the length of the handle. If we take a shorter handle, we see the difference than when we open and close the shovel. The leaves open and close more, with less movement, less thumb gesture. And now I want to talk about the screw. There are different screw models. Some are modified by hand, and others require a wrench to adjust the tension of the scissors precisely. In any case, it is something that you have to take into account, and you have to know how to handle it, so that the scissors always work at the right tension. And that's as follows. The scissors, as we mentioned, have to work relaxed because we do not exert force. Then we have to feel that the scissors open and close comfortably without any effort. But the scissors don't have to dance between the two blades. We have to feel that it is firm there. That way it's like the scissors. We feel that it's well adjusted, that it has the right tension.
Now let's go to talk about the edges. There are two types.
The micro-serrated edge is that on one of the edges it has very small teeth that are barely visible to the eye, but that serve to prevent the hair from slipping, so that it gets caught, obtaining greater security in the cut. It reduces softness when closing the scissors. It is a little rougher when working with it, but this is ideal when we have to trim edges of ears, lips, pads, between the fingers, it is more practical. Then there's the razor's edge. The razor's edge is smooth, it is very thin and smooth on both blades.
It is more comfortable, especially in jobs where we have to walk for a long time. What it requires is a little bit pickup, less hair in its coat. Now we speak about tooth scissors. With tooth in one of their blades. One blade is smooth and the other is toothed. The tooth can be more or less thin, and with more or less separation between them. What's sculpting scissors using for? Well, to make a police.
To give a more natural cut, since when we close the scissors, the hair is not cut in its entirety, but only part of it is cut. This is used, for example, to degrade a jump between a more shaved and a longer cutting area, to give it a natural gradient, even to shape the cut less marked. There are also those with teeth, the so-called 𝗙𝗦𝗕𝗘, in which the teeth are wider, very wide, and with little separation between them. This is actually a scissors that is also for sculpting, but in a way that the cut is a little more marked than in those with thinner teeth. It's as if we were to say, so that we understand it, as if it were halfway between normal tooth scissors and straight scissors, because in reality this cuts much more. Leaves a more marked cut than thinner tooth scissors, so it is used in hairdressing. They are very practical for molding to give shapes very quickly, leaving a natural cut. And finally, tooth scissors can also be straight or curved, with teeth closer together and smaller or larger 𝗙𝗦𝗕𝗏 type. Although everything we have explained is equally applicable to special left-handed scissors, I want to show you what left-handed scissors consist of. It's designed, it is manufactured with the blades inverted, so that when it comes to picking it up, the mobile scissors are the correct one. That's a left-handed one, and this is a right-handed one, and if you look at them, they're reversed. What I do want to explain is that left-handers usually get used to, or usually learn to work by exerting this tension that we said with the thumb that we have to learn, to relax and avoid. In left-handers, exactly the same thing happens, but inverted. Left-handers tend to exert that tension in the opposite direction, so that when they acquire a scissors specially designed for them and exert the direction, the opposite force, because they do not use a good technique, what they are doing is opening the blades so that they cause the scissors not to cut. Then work with this technique that I have explained to you, and you will see how everything goes well, and left-handed scissors work exactly the same as right-handed scissors. If you want to know about practical tips on how to take care of the scissors so that they last longer, I advise you to watch my next video.